Zara was always quiet, not because she had nothing to say, but because saying it felt dangerous. At school, she blended in like a shadow, wore what her friends wore, nodded when she wanted to scream, smiled when she wanted to vanish. It was easier that way. Fitting in was safer. By the time she reached university, she was an expert at disappearing in plain sight. In class, she answered only when called. At parties, she hovered on the edges. Inside, she was a storm of thoughts, dreams, contradictions. But on the outside, she was wallpaper. Her secret life began at night. Lights dimmed, headphones on, and fingers flying across the keyboard. She wrote strange, beautiful stories. Girls with wings, boys made of glass, worlds with no gravity. No one knew, not her family, not her friends, just her, the stories, and the blinking cursor. One email changed that, a campus-wide writing contest. She hesitated, her heart pounded. What if they don't get it, she thought. But a voice inside, small but steady, whispered, what if they do? She submitted a story under a pen name, Z-Nova, the girl with the cloud friend. It was about loneliness, invisible friendships, and the weight of pretending. When she hit send, she felt sick and free. Days passed, then weeks. No news. She convinced herself she hadn't won. It was better that way. She could go back to being invisible. Safe. But then, a poster on campus. First place, Z-Nova, the girl with the cloud friend. She stared, then laughed, then cried. The organizers asked her to read it aloud at the student showcase. She wanted to run. She almost said no. But that small voice came back. Louder now. Be seen. And for the first time in her life, Zara let herself be. The night of the reading, her hands were cold. Her voice trembled. She stepped on stage and forgot to breathe. But as she read, the room stilled. People leaned in, not out of politeness, but connection. And when she finished, the room erupted. She wasn't invisible anymore. The next day, everything shifted. Some friends grew distant. They liked the quiet version of her better, but others came closer. Strangers wrote, "Thank you for saying what I couldn't." Zara realized she hadn't lost anything. She had finally gained herself. She started a blog, raw, real, unedited. She wrote about fitting in, burning out, loving softly. Messages poured in. You made me feel less alone. This story saved me. She wasn't writing for praise. She was writing to connect. Zara's style changed. Not to stand out, but to feel right. She wore clothes that made her smile. Spoke when she had something to say. Said no when she meant it. She wasn't loud, but she was clear, authentic. Her drawer of hidden stories? She opened it wide. Published them one by one. Some flopped, some flew. But each one was her, unfiltered, unshrinking, unafraid. One day she received a message from a reader. I showed your story to my daughter. She finally understood she's not broken. Zara read it 5 times, then cried. Because her words, once hidden, were helping others find light. She didn't become famous. She didn't need to. She became real. And in a world full of filters, real was rare. Real was powerful. So if you're tired of shrinking, twisting, pretending, stop. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your voice, not louder, just truer. Because when you stop trying to fit in, you make space for others to belong too.